what we always try and do is to make that child or children feel very welcome in the home. They become the centre of our lives, basically, because they become our family, part of our family. And within that, you treat them accordingly, not isolate them, not making them feel different, because they are stigmatized being in care anyway. And just the thought of them being made to feel different in an environment that they're sent to be looked after, it's, you can't even imagine that, really.
To be able to show a foster child that there's no favouritism, that you're not two separate families living in one household. For instance, my grandchildren like in the morning, especially the younger ones, that they can jump on my bed and watch the television with me. But that's not possible when you've got foster children in placement, because for legality reasons you cannot have the foster child in your bed. So I get up and take the big quilt, throw it on the floor in the living room, and we all sit on it and we all watch Cartoon Network, as you do, and have munchies in the morning, just kind of have a Frio, biscuits, drinks, whatever. We get up and clean up in a little while. But everybody's at ease then, and everybody's doing the same thing. I send cards to all my foster children who I've kept in contact with. Obviously the bigger ones who are independent living, let them know, that don't set your own Christmas day, because there's plenty of food here, get along and have a good time with us lot. Some of them, oh, well, I'll think about it, because, it can be a bit of a daunting process sometimes. You just say to them, just come along, come on, because you just want that little bit of a push to think that, do you really, really want me there kind of thing, or are you just saying it because, you're a foster care and you have to say it. You just say to them, come on, I'll come and get you. And they come along, and then it's great, especially when, you haven't seen them for ages, and they, still see, can't believe you're still fostering, and, who's that one? And and my children make great relationship with all my foster children, so, my children are great ones saying, don't forget so-and-so, Mum, don't forget so-and-so. And so it's a big open house at Christmas.
That's right, because children that we fostered, they still come back. They're part of the family. I mean, we've got a foster daughter. She's 30 odd now, and she has 3 children, and she's like our child. Her children are like our grandchildren. I look after the children about 3 times a week because she goes to work. She's always here. And I don't see it different because we have one son. And I don't see them any different to our own son.
I remember this one time, it was I'm a big supporter of Manchester United, and there was a champion final against Manchester against Juventus. It was the whole family and me and my brother watching TV, watching the final, and basically we cheered together. It's like we had a load of food, like popcorn, crisps on the table, and we cheered when they scored a goal, everything. It was like I was really part of the family.
Birthdays as well, any times when there were special occasions. But we've always done things as a family. We've always gone out for meals. Like every Friday night we used to go out for a meal as a family. Every Saturday my mum would cook a curry and we'd all stay in. So we used to always have particular days where we did things on. But we used to go away a lot as well as a family. We used to go all over the place, travelled the world basically with my family. And I was very lucky to do so.
I go to their house every single day, but it's not, I don't go back as the old foster child. I'm just part of the family now, so I go back, have my tea, sit and talk, have a cup of tea, sit and watch Coronation Street even, and we don't really have to do anything. There's not got to be a reason why I go down. Just go down for the sake of going to see him. I've had some really special moments. Just most of them have been celebrations, either birthday celebrations or Christmas times are always a nice reminder when we all sit round as a family, because that's what we are, with their children, myself and my younger brother, and the rest of their family. Birthdays, when we all go out for a meal, we've all got this restaurant that we always go to, and we still go there now. But some moments, like just going out for a day together or going on holiday together, and if they introduce you to their friends as their son, it gives you a feeling that you know, belong.
I think for us as a family, I think birth parents are very important, and about how they connect with them and how they feel comfortable with them. For us as a family, we have photographs around the house of birth parents. We're always taking photographs, so if they go on contact, we take photographs. I feel very, very much that life story is important, so I will do life story work with the children. And I think just talking to them about their birth parents, about contact, how they feel about contact, how they feel about their parents, you know, where their parents are at, you know, how they came into care, the reasons that they came into care. Mum wouldn't allow any photographs at all, so we have we have no information really about her. I met her, and for him, you know, I think that it's important. So from my memory, I had, you know, a portrait done of his birth mum, so that you can actually, yeah, well, that is what she looked like, you know. And I think it's important for him. It's important for any children. And so we've done that.
A few years ago, because we were taken on Tabitha permanently, a life story book was initiated by the social worker. And between us, we gathered as much information as we could from Mum, who was very cooperative and gave us photos and things. And we were able to put the life story book together over a series of days, sessions, and Tabitha was able to be here with us, but not sitting down with us and doing it with us. But it's quite interesting to see how she's actually used that life story book since. She keeps it in her room, in a box underneath in the bottom of her wardrobe, and it comes out usually when the social worker comes, and it's a different social worker now, but she brings it out. It's as if she relates life story to her social worker, but you would quite often catch her looking through her photo albums and videos we've made of her, or even videos her dad made of her when she was a baby. She brings them out and she knows it's her, which I think is really lovely. So the you know, life story books are quite important for even children that you don't think understand.
To share Kay is a great feeling, because for me it's good that he found his family. You know, because obviously that would have been something within him that he could never fulfill if he hadn't have found them, whether they'd been alive or dead. And they're a lovely couple, and he looks so much like his father. A lot of children who come into care, and even though, as I said, Kay was 11, it's obviously a thought in their mind, if I get too attached to this person, then I'm disloyal to my family. And, you know, can I love two people? Because Kay now is in a situation where he's got two mums, so to speak. And now he's fine with that. But, you know, at the very beginning, it must have been very hard for him.
I don't feel threatened by birth parents. And I think coming to terms with how you feel about that, and how you, your relationship with them, I think that's really important. And because I don't feel threatened, because I am thankful for them, because I wouldn't have the children if it wasn't for them. And I always look at it from that standpoint. And yes, they're my children. I would never ever give them up for anything in the world. But I think it's important for them to know that that you know, I'm not their mum, and that they have got a birth parents out there. For me, having a relationship with them, I think it builds security. It also makes them feel okay. It does make them feel okay, because when it comes around to contact, it's not as if, well, if I go off to them, you know, it's going to hurt my mum. You know, she's not going to feel happy with that. And this conflict that goes on, I'm saying to them, it's okay, it's all right, you know. And I think that for contact, well, because of that, it goes well.
One of my big issues that I have myself is life story work, because I had very little life story work about my birth family. Mine was like a page, as now you look at people's life story books and they consist of pages upon pages. And when they feel ready, they can always go back. And I think it's really important for children now in our days, or in care or placed in a foster home, to have such a big, because that's a big chunk of their life story work. You know, working with birth parents, working with foster carers, and especially like other siblings. You know, if they have contact with siblings, as I don't with Natalie. I've never, ever, all I know is that she's 2 years younger than me. She's black African, and that's all I know. I've never met her. And I think it's important to have that information there.
For a couple of years after coming into care, myself and my younger brother never spoke to my birth parents. And my foster carers really respected our views and said, well, if you don't want to speak to them, you don't have to, but it'd be nice for you to. And after a couple of years, when you sort of get over the bitterness and, you know, the emotional feelings, then we decided that we wanted to start and talk to especially our other siblings. So they supported us in that, gave us lifts there, telephone calls, and that can be quite hard for foster carers to ring up a birth parent, because that's a relationship that's not exactly without conflict. Do you know that the foster carers are doing what the parents should be doing? But they did really well in supporting us and taking us through. Often we came back quite distressed and a bit upset, and they were really good at making sure that we knew they weren't there to replace our parents, but they were there to help us whenever we needed it.